So there's a thread to share short experiences you've had with the supernatural spooky shit that has happened to you, just whatever small encounters you've had. Feel free to post green texts too, especially if they fit this mold or are your own experiences. I'll start. Last night when I was laying in bed, everything turned eerily quiet and I hear what sounded like wind rushing inside of my ears, like the same way you can hear your blood flowing when you put a seashell to your ear. Just a muffled rushing wind that sounded like it was in my skull ear. I heard the door creak and the rushing sound remained for a few moments. And before you say it, no, there wasn't even a light breeze outside, let alone enough wind to make the door crack open. So no idea what that was, but I clearly heard what sounded like strong winds, the sound you hear when falling, as I lay on my bed, entirely still. A few nights before I got a dreadful feeling of being watched that persisted for some minutes as the house went entirely silent again. And when I say silent I mean even the aircon fan stopped making noises, no background noise at all, it just stops. I've had other experiences in this house, like inexplicable noises, including what sounded like a slap against the window when I thought it had finished, just a bang against the glass, and no, I looked, it wasn't a neighborly young of dark complexion, as well as the encounters I had in the Greentext simmer post. Driving one evening from work, out in a rural area, stop at a light, see a man, cowboy hat, red flannel shirt, jeans work boots, Hispanic guy, that's how close he was, as he strolled by. I could see him as he passed just 5 feet from my car, being friendly and in uniform. I waved because he was staring at me, think nothing of it, drive into town, middle of down fucking town. I see the same guy, he looks over at me, points at me with the gun hand gesture, smiles, waves, I wave again. Well, obviously a car dropped him off right. I was the only car for most of my trip that I saw. Nobody passed me, no other roads to take. Is my guardian angel a Mexican ranch hand named Pedro? Not the coolest story, but pretty fucking spooky. Happened a few months ago. I also suck at green texts, so be it. Walking home late at night from a party with my bro and a friend, start thinking about a thread I saw on here. It was about shadow people and I remember vividly a story about the Hat Man, something about meeting him at 3 AM at a crossroads to sell your soul or some shit. As soon as I think about this we turn left and at the middle of the road is a crossroads. Was kinda sketched out, but knew it was an obvious coincidence. Start talking to my friend about spooky shit and mentioned the Hat Man as we walked closer to the crossroads. As I was again reminded of it, we were in front of a spooky alleyway next to a corner store right before the crossroads. When I looked over at it, in the back of the alleyway see a tall silhouette of a man wearing a hat, glowing eyes. Stumbled the fuck back because it caught me very off guard. Looks like it almost winks at me and disappears. Kept walking, bro and friend asking me why the fuck I was tripping out for. Right in the middle of crossroads, since we kept walking during this massive fucking bang on what we think was the side of the corner store. Fucking bolt back home. Still horrified at this. I always go around crossroads when walking at night, even though he didn't seem menacing, just mischievous. This is a story my mom once told me about a supposedly paranormal happening she experienced. My mom in early 1990s, studying abroad for a college semester in Scotland. For a week or so, she and several of the other girls she traveled with stayed in an old castle converted into a hotel/convention center type of thing. The rooms they are staying in are on a floor above a great big ballroom. One evening everyone is getting dressed up and ready to go out into the town. As they are doing makup or whatever, they notice that they can hear muffled music and commotion coming from the floor underneath. Oh, I didn't know they were hosting a ball tonight. Let's go check it out. They head out down the stairs. There's clearly much noise coming out behind the doors as they come up to it. They swing the doors open and complete empty silence. Pick related is everyone's face when they are trying to reason how the fuck they heard all the noise. I should probably ask her about again one of these days, because I feel like I'm missing details, but this is the most of it. She also said they heard screams come from the other guest rooms a couple nights but nothing ever came of it, so it could have been literally nothing special. Illinois. Go out with some friends to a place like 30 miles away called Bloods Point Road, namely a bridge on the road. Hear that it has some bad history, like a mom hanging her 4 kids and herself on the bridge. Also a bunch of people jumping onto the tracks below and getting creamed by trains. I find this divot in the road where I can park conveniently. We start walking toward the bridge. We begin hearing fucking Indian music, like tribal ritual music, and is tightening in Fear Point JPG. We stand around for a bit and just listen to this. Decide to go back to the car, because this is getting pretty spooky. We notice that the apparent origin of the music is the middle of this large cornfield on the other side of the tracks. We see no lights or indication of human presence. Note the fuck out, I plan on going back there on Halloween to see if anything freakier happens. Be me. Be like 11 to 12 years old. It's 10 PM and dark out. Nobody around. Playing outside with my friend in his front yard with fake swords. In our preoccupied state of beating on each other with plastic swords, we notice that his young niece has snuck outside. He has 2 nieces. He is trying to get the kiddo back into the house. Suddenly I see that the other niece has begun to wander off down the street. Friend doesn't notice because he's busy with the other one. I start to try and catch up with her. About a 25-foot distance between us. This little motherfucker is trucking. Here giggling. Oh, you think this is a game, huh? She turns a corner at the end of the block. Shit, that's not good. Around the corner equals long tight alleyway. I'm about 10 feet from the corner and on. What are you doing? My friend calls out. I yell back. I'm getting. She snuck out too. What do you mean anon? Turn around. Friend is holding both nieces. Was in the house the whole time. Any fucking idea what it was that I saw? It looked exactly like his niece and sounded like her point too. Probably know that's spooky, but here goes. Exchange program in Nipland. Staying with friends of my teacher in Kobe. Their house was on a hill like 30 minutes on foot from the station. On the 3rd night I returned pretty late, shortly before midnight. First time coming back after dark, so not 100% sure how to get home. Neighborhood is dark as fuck. Not many street lights. Get out of the station, walk in the approximate direction of where I think the house is. Soon it gets quiet on the street. Only me around. Fuck, I'm lost. Not even a convenience store around. Turn left for good. What could go wrong? Long alley. In the middle a young woman was standing in the middle of the street. Woman starts walking down the alley. Fuck yeah, gonna get me some directions. Try to close a gap without suddenly running at her. She makes a few turns. I follow her. I'm only a few meters behind her now. Want to cautiously call out to her. Before I can speak, she makes a right turn into another street. I follow. No woman. Wide street. Houses on both sides. But noon to be seen. Doesn't look like she went into one of the houses either. I had only lost sight of her for a few seconds. Houses around also had these motion sensor lights that only switched on when I came around the corner. Get proper spooked and hightail it out of there until I found a convenience store that could give me directions. In retrospect, that woman probably thought I was a rapist and somehow hid from me. Only way she could have disappeared like that would be jumping into the hedge and hiding in shrubbery, which is kind of funny to imagine. I got lots of story to tell. See, in our old apartment, a lot of spooky shit happened that even my whole family saw the same thing as I did, so I wasn't just having a hazy memory and hallucination. Apartment circa 2009. Grandma finally found a home in the US after migrating. We were expecting the very first call with our video phone. Finally get to see grandma for the first time in 4 months. A lot of talking passed by until she asked if the one on the stairs is our younger cousin. 4Y/O at the time. The thing is no is in the stairs, but in our side on the video, there a very distinct figure of a kid wearing a sailor suit. Wet, Caucasian, and whitish, dead white, like something out of a 30s look. Keep staring at us. Grandma keep calling our cousin over. Thing is, my cousin was still asleep. Grandma thinks we were fucking with her until our cousin woke up crying, came down, and sat exactly where the kid was sitting. It wasn't until a year later when our cousin opened up to us why she woke up crying. Apparently she dreamt of the boy in a sailor suit, a detail we never mentioned, so me and my siblings were like, our apartment is really haunted in it. Honestly, spooky shit became a daily thing that we just didn't give a fuck anymore. A lot of spooky shit were getting persistent over time. Small statues shaking crazy and falling off the TV out of nowhere. Bathroom door keeps slamming in the middle of the night. Books casually shooting out of the shelves. Mild annoyance but annoying nonetheless, etc. So we ask a relative who were known to be spiritually sensitive and help us out, expecting to see some hippie voodoo seance shit like they do in TV. She just casually inspects the whole house, sometimes locking eyes with something in the mirror, expecting a bad news. Hey Anon, don't worry, don't give them attention, they're very harmless, but I'll try and talk to them to do it less frequent. Disappointed but relieved, she lit up a candle and drew something in a paper. She packs a small Bible and read a quote. Ask them to be mindful of us, or she'll be forced to force them out. Burns the paper and casually had a snack after. It did help. The frequent noises and furniture getting moved stopped, and only happens when we aren't present inside. Ironically, made it creepier though. Move into temporary living space. Tiny apartment. Never bother to unpack everything. Have home gym. Have 45 pounds Olympic barbell standing in the corner of the hallway. Since no room to set up gym, has been standing there undisturbed for 3 months in the exact same position, leaning into the corner. If this thing were to ever somehow fall, it would be the bottom that slips out. No way it's going to topple over in any other fashion. Be sitting in my living/bedroom watching TV. Back to hallway. Hear a familiar clink, the sound the barbell makes when you pick it up or put it down. Turn around. Barbell is standing vertically in the middle of the hallway. Not leaning against any wall, just standing straight up in the middle of the hallway. It falls over and practically destroys a small table I had in my hallway. It fell in my direction, but I was about 3 feet out of reach. Read Ghost Punch not too long before this experience. Accept my new reality that ghosts real. Tell ghost to fuck off in a very angry manner and go back to watching TV. I don't know if this was really a ghost or not, but that was the most inexplicable thing that's ever happened to me. I got a few more weird short ones. Nothing as inexplicable as a barbell, but still odd. Be very young, maybe 9, 10y/0. Sitting in living room of my dad's basement apartment with dad watching TV. Dad plays guitar and has it hanging on the wall. When he isn't playing it, lone guitar string gets plucked. Look at dad wide-eyed. He looks at me and say it was a ghost, but with a smile on his face. B. Stupid kid and think, since he said it with a smile, it must mean it's a friendly ghost. Don't think any more of it. Last one from me. Be 16/17. Hanging out with some friend in a park. We finish hanging out at about 1 AM and go our separate ways. One of my friends is walking with me. We live in the same direction. In front of us is a field. Pic related, but we were where the white van is. Behind where the photographer took this pic from is just a regular street. We see a bright flash from the middle of the field, a bit to the right from where the tree is, exactly as if someone took our picture, and then we see a blur dash from there down to the street, and out of sight around a corner. It happened within a second. We both saw it. We were both extremely confused. Friend always changes the subject whenever I bring it up. Well, that's it for me. I also saw 2 UFOs, but nothing really interesting. One just dashed across the sky in an arc from horizon to horizon within a second. The other time I saw something that I thought was the ice, until I found out it just looks like an extremely bright satellite when you look at it with the naked eye. Not like the thing I saw where I could see some details of the thing. This didn't happen to me. My BF is working at a sandwich shop in Fresno, CA. Typical normie gay man. Has no knowledge of, nor gives a single fuck about anything paranormal whatsoever. I don't even try to talk to him about it. One day, while working the register on an extremely slow day, a child walks in by himself. He's a boy, white, maybe about 10 years old. This child looks highly unusual. His eyes are massive and almost completely black, with little to no white around them. They must be as big as golf balls. BF is shitting bricks. The child comes up to the register and orders a very basic sandwich. He acts like a normal kid and even orders something a kid would eat. Just a plain sandwich with meat and cheese. BF takes his order while trying to maintain his composure and goes to the back to his coworkers. He tells the 2 girls in the back that he's fucking terrified and asks them to see for themselves. First girl looks out at the front. She immediately starts crying. She's petrified. The other one can't believe what she is seeing and refuses to go out there. Whatever this kid looked like, it was enough to completely horrify 3 grown adults to the point of hysteria. They make his order while he waits in the lobby and my BF brings it to him. He tries his best not to lose his shit as he faces him one more time. Holy fuck, why are his eyes so huge? The kid politely says thank you, takes his food, and leaves. BF refuses to talk about it even to this day. He hates when I ask. The only rational explanations I can think of were that it was a prank, and he was wearing a prosthetic, or he has a rare birth defect. My BF swears the eyes didn't look fake, and that they looked around and even blinked. My theory is that an alien hybrid must have got away from his handler for a moment to go buy a sandwich, like a kid might want to. That or it was a legitimate fucking black-eyed child. What the fuck happened in that sandwich shop? /x/. I don't really have any stories, but here's one my mom told me that's actually kinda funny. My mom, somewhere from 10 to 12 years old, I think late 70s, early 80s, whole family had to sleep in one big bedroom one night. I don't remember why. Everyone is sleeping. Says she woke up in the middle of the night and sees, I shit you not, Yoda. Says she couldn't move. Tries to scream for someone to help. Can't talk. Yoda is floating above her, holding her down. Can't move or speak. Says it suddenly stops. Look at my mom and say, Mom, that was just sleep paralysis. It's not that uncommon. She's told me this story several times. To this day she swears it happened and is actually convinced Yoda tried kidnapping her.